So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and generate the universal I key from Autel. And so we're going to click on universal I key. Let's go ahead and put the make, year, and model. So this here is our key. You can see FCC ID CWTWB 1G0090. Now I did verify that this is the correct FCC ID. Basically, I just got online to uhshardware.com, punched in the year, make, and model, and I looked for the correct key, and this is the correct key right here. So let's go ahead and generate this thing. I'm going to set the tool down so I can drop the key into the slot, and then we're going to generate the universal I key. As you guys can see, it is generating the universal key, so we'll let that finish. Okay, so our key is just about done. 96%, 98, 100. Universal key generation is complete, so we'll hit completed. And now this key is ready to be programmed. Next up, let's go ahead and generate the X-Horse. Okay, so I've got my Key Tool Max here. Well, let me go ahead and rip off the screen protector so you guys can see it a little bit better. I wouldn't be taking off my screen protector for anybody else but you guys. So if you didn't already feel special today, well, now you should. So let's go into vehicle remotes, and we're going to go down to Honda right here, Honda. We're going to look for our Honda Accord. So let's just click on Accord, and let's see if we can find the correct FCC ID. This one's for a 22 plus. This is a 2021. So this one right here. You guys can see the FCC ID CWTWB 1G0090. So that's going to be our key right there. Now, one quick important thing to note here is that if you look, this key is actually an online cloud generated key only, meaning that you have to be connected to the internet in order to generate this key. Now, a lot of these keys, you don't have to be connected to the internet. You know, the Key Tool Max stores the key in its database. So you guys can see all of these other ones, none of them have to be online, but for some reason this one you have to be online. Now, the other important thing is that in order to generate these online cloud-based remotes, you have to have a tool like the Key Tool Max. You cannot generate these online cloud remotes using the Key Tool Mini. For whatever reason, the Key Tool Mini does pretty much everything that the Key Tool Max does, minus remote renews and these online remotes. This was my main reason for actually buying the Key Tool Max, because for a long time I was just using the Mini. It works great with my phone, but I did notice that I would run into a few cars every now and then where it would have to be generated online and the Key Tool Mini wouldn't do it, so I had to get the Key Tool Max. So anyways, I've got the universal key right here. I'm going to stick it into the slot. Now let's go ahead and generate the remote. It's detecting the key, and now it is generating our remote. Okay, so our generation is complete. Burn success. Our key is done, so let's hit complete. And now this key is ready to be programmed to the vehicle. Go ahead and manually select our vehicle. We're going to find Honda. We're going to go into manual selection. This is a Honda Accord, and it is a smart key. Push to start. And so we're going to start by doing an EMO status scan. It's asking us if the ignition is turned on by pressing the start button twice. Nope. Press and hold the start button. So let's go ahead and press and hold it, and our cluster should light up. There we go. So our cluster is now lit. You guys can see, so the Autel allows us to bypass the ignition, and so the ignition is switched on. Please release the button. So we'll hit OK. Now it's doing the EMO status scan. We'll let this thing finish. Okay, so that was pretty quick. First of all, you guys can see that we don't have any smart keys programmed into the system right now. The number of keys we have is 0. Now, the other thing is that we don't have any DTCs in the system, so that's pretty interesting. Anyways, let's go ahead and try to add our keys. So we're going to do all keys lost, and we're going to hit start, and we'll start the process. It says registration condition. There is no DTCs. Here must be all keyless remotes which want to register. One keyless remote have to be in vehicle. So again, we have our keys ready here, and then this key ready here. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Please turn the ignition switch off. So let's turn it off. Place a key to be learned in the vehicle and take all other keys out of the vehicle and place them more than 5 meters away. So again, our other keys are right here. Now, I could, for extra measure, just put this bag up on top of the roof. So I'm going to stick this up on the roof of the car. That should be good enough. Now we're going to hit OK. Is the ignition turned on by pressing the button twice? Let's try. So you guys can see we pushed it twice and the ignition did not come on. We'll try it again. So 1, 2, and the ignition did not come on. So we'll hit no. Press and hold the start button. It's gonna power up the ignition again. There we go, our ignition is powered up. It's telling us to release the switch. We already did, so we're gonna hit okay. Next up, it's doing security verification here. Okay guys, now this here is the very important question that you don't want to get wrong. Now, we know that this vehicle has the newer immobilizer system. So naturally, our instinct would be to press yes. However, you do not want to do that, because if you do, you will corrupt the BCM. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, and Autel should really fix this problem. And I mean, I say Autel, but it's not only Autel, it's all the key programmers. But what you really need to push here is the no button. Now, to be safe, even if you had the older system, whether you have the old system, the new system, whatever, just always push no. That's going to save you from breaking this BCM. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit no. It's establishing communication, executing all keys lost. Registration has failed. Try to add a key again. Please turn the ignition switch off. So it failed to add our key, even though our key is right here in the vehicle. I guess at this point we'll just hit cancel because it failed.
Few moments later.
All right guys, so you know what? Just for shimmies and giggles, I went ahead and I generated this key. So if you guys take a look, it's the one that says Accord 2022 Plus Keyless Go ID4A. Now, even though this says 2022 Plus, and it doesn't really match the FCC ID, it doesn't actually give us an FCC ID number, so I'm not sure. But reading the feedback here, there are actually a few people that say that they were able to use this key on a 2021 Honda Accord whenever this thing loads up here. There we go. So you guys can see this guy said Honda Accord 2021 USA, and right here Accord 2021 USA. So I don't know, we may as well give it a shot, try it out and see what happens. We might get lucky. So anyways, I went ahead and already generated it, so this thing is ready to be programmed. Lo voy a dejar aquí. I'm gonna leave it right there, and then we're gonna start the process. We'll hit okay, press and hold the start button, wait for the ignition to turn on. There we go, it's on. We'll hit okay. We're gonna hit no this time for the verification, just to see what happens. And I guess just to be sure, I'm gonna go ahead and put this near the start button, see if it programs it. Key programming succeeded. Would you like to learn the next one? Awesome. So the key programmed. Now check this out guys. So I'm not sure if this was an issue with the FCC ID, because when I looked it up, you know, the FCC ID for the 2021 was that CW whatever. Let me show it to you real quick here. So when I looked it up, this CWTWB1G0090, that's the FCC ID that should be for this vehicle. However, when I looked up a 2022 model, you know, just for shimmies and giggles, it shows me a different key. It actually shows me this right here, the KR5TP4. And so I'm not exactly sure if, you know, the whole problem here was that we had the wrong key to begin with. But what I went ahead and did was I went into the Autel and I found the key. Okay, right here it comes up as a Civic ID4A 2022 Plus KR5TP4. So I went ahead and I generated this key. And so while we have this ready to program the next one, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Autel iKey that I generated just to see if it'll take it. So here we have the iKey. Now let's go ahead and put this back on top of the car, and we're going to attempt to learn the next one. So yes, wait a minute, before I do that, let me get this key out of the car. Okay, so it's up on the roof now. Okay, so I've got the other key out of the car. Always make sure that whatever key you're trying to program is the only key that's in the vehicle. And so we're going to hit yes. Let's try to program the next one. And I'm going to hold it up against the start button here just to be sure. Oh, it says place all keys out of the vehicle. Yes, we already know that. So we'll hit okay. I'm going to put the key up against the start button here. Place the key to be learned in the vehicle. Okay. Key registration failed. Try to add a key again. Please turn the ignition switch off. Okay, so it failed to register it. Let's turn it off there and then Maybe we'll try it again. Yeah, so it didn't like this Autel generated iKey. So let me go ahead and bring the other key back into the vehicle. So this is our X-Horse universal key. I'm going to use that to power up the ignition here. So push twice. You guys can see the ignition comes on. And our key programming, well, at least for our X-Horse key, was successful. So let's back out of here and let's go ahead and see if we can start this thing. So I got my foot on the brake pedal here, and we're going to push the start button. And bam, vehicle starts up right away. That was a success. Let's go ahead and test out the remote. Let me go ahead and shut the door. Now we're going to hit the lock button. As you guys can see, the door's locked. I'm going to hit the unlock button. Door's unlocked. We're going to hold the trunk button. I heard the trunk open, and then we're going to hold the panic button. Okay, so the panic button isn't really operating right now, but there may be a way to get it to work. Using the Key Tool Max, we might be able to read the key button configuration and then go in there and change it. But other than that, everything else here is working. That was a success. Again, you guys can see I got the key right here. I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle up. And it starts right up. That's a fix. Okay, guys, so just one more thing. Something that kind of tickled my curiosity. Again, as you guys recall, all of these buttons work. The only one that doesn't work is the panic button. And so what I did was I went ahead and I read the key information here on the Key Tool Max. And as you guys can see on the panic button, we do have a value. However, I don't actually believe that this vehicle came from the factory with the panic button. And if you guys take a look here at the Autel, you know, it'll actually show you, if you go into vehicle emo information, it'll give you some information about the keys. And so as you guys can see, there are different variations of this key. So if you had remote start, the key would look something like this, or the key could look something like this, where it's just a 3-button key. As you guys can see, it's just lock, unlock, and then the trunk button. And so in this configuration, you don't have a panic button. So I'm pretty sure that the vehicle just didn't come with the panic button from the factory. In this case, the key that we used has a little button here, but it's pretty much just a dead button. All right, guys, so just as some bonus footage, I went ahead and I pulled out the lock cylinder on the driver's side door, which was pretty simple to do. There's only a T30 Torx bit right there. And then if you look, you can see that there's actually a key code. And it's kind of hard to see. It starts with the letter M. That's right there. So I went ahead and I punched in that key code into the Dolphin here using the app on my phone. As you guys can see, it is cutting the key right now. And so once we are done cutting this key, we're going to test it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the door lock cylinder. Like I said, really easy to do, really easy to remove. There's only one T30 Torx bit. You just got to make sure you get it in there in the right spot. So right there we go. Then we can use our little T30 Torx screwdriver to tighten the little Torx screw back up. There we go, got it nice and snug. And there was this little rubber plug that went right here. So let's go ahead and test our little key blade here. I mean, I already tested it off of the vehicle, but I didn't get it on camera, so I know it works. You guys can see I can turn it left and right, so perfect cut. Just in case you guys are interested how we install the emergency key blade, so this is a flip key style blade, and basically these universal keys are designed to use these flip blade style keys because they basically are just held in with the roll pin. So as you guys can see, I've got the key blade in the little insert and I've got a roll pin right there. I'm about to press it in, so I'm going to squeeze my little tool here. Just press that roll pin into place. Now it's not completely in there, it just kind of sets it, and so you can see it's like halfway in there. And now we just use this like pliers and pinch it the rest of the way. So there is our emergency blade, nice and secured to this piece right here. I'm going to push it in and we're all set. Now